Almost there. Almost here. Let me just pop over to the other page because probably you're here before I'm here. Alrighty, so we should be live. I'm just waiting to see what you can see so I can see the video that you can see. And that we are here live in the page. Always a joy when you've got to play with technology. Fantastic. Here we are. So welcome everyone. I finally made it live to the page. Let me turn my volume down. Excellent. So sorry, technology had you here before me. Good morning, everyone. Oh, actually, it's probably afternoon and evening for some of you. So I'm in Sydney, Australia. And I'm sure that many of you are from all over the world. So please continue to say hi, continue to say hello to me. I'm playing with the technology and getting used to clicking all the right buttons. So you'll just have to bear not only with me, but I know that some of the other practitioners and the other guys doing these live streams are also very much sort of playing with the technology and getting used to it. So this is the tapping circle. So what we will be doing on this call is EFT tapping. So I know some of you are used to having readings or you're used to coming on, and this is the Spiritual Events Directory has lots of readers. This isn't what I'm doing in this session. We are meeting here on a Monday, 9:30 my time. Whatever time this is for you, it's going to be the same time every week. And we are going to be doing EFT tapping. So today what we're going to be working on is taking you through a live class that I did, because I still run live classes here in Sydney. So this particular one is on stress. So it seemed to be quite a theme in our first class last week that there was lots of people that sort of messaged me and said things about stress or said things about feeling anxious and stuff like that. So rather than deal with anxiety, we're going to deal with stress as a separate kind of little unit all of its own, and we'll deal with each of them as one little separate unit all of their own, because when you start to look at stress and anxiety and worry, they all become a very, very big topic. Now, for us here on the call, we are going to do some group work, and when we're talking group work in EFT, it's known as borrowing benefits. So what will happen is if you're not feeling stress in this very particular moment, stick with the call, tap along with us and go through what needs to be done, so you then have the whole actually let me just shut this page down over here because this one's going to distract me, so apologies for that. I have multiple screens going here, so I just want to be able to not have that screen popping up while we have other screens happening. So back to stress. That wasn't very stressful. I want to be able to deal with different elements on their own. I want to be able to deal with different segments on their own. So what I was saying was the borrowing benefits side. Continue tapping even though you may not be feeling stress in this moment. Continue to do your tapping on stress, because what will happen is your brain will go on, it will find where you have been stressed, where you're slightly stressed, different thoughts that cause you stress. Your brain is really powerful. It will go and get the right space. It will go and get the right activity. It will go and get the right event for you. So don't think when we come up with a topic, oh, that's not really me. Don't think that for a second. Borrowing benefits with EFT tapping is so powerful. It can actually help you through things that you don't think are your things right now, but they actually will be. So I know there's going to be other people coming onto the call. So please make sure you've always got pen and paper or a journal or something to write on when you come to these calls. We will always have some extra work that will happen, or things that will come up for you, or words that will come up, or things that will come as sort of themes through the group that could be some tapping stuff for you to work on when we're between sessions. So my intention for these sessions are, this particular one is very much on stress. We're going to be doing lots of tapping on this call. Some of the other calls, we will do lots of Q&A. There will be time for Q&A at the end of this. It won't be all tapping, but it will be lots of tapping. I'll also be bringing on some guest speakers as the weeks go on and things like that. But at the moment, I really want to create this space for us to do tapping together, for this to be a live tapping call, for you to have this time for yourself to get through some of the stresses, the anxieties and stuff that's going on. So I'm hoping that's a great way for us to spend our time together. If you had feedback, please pop it into the comments box. My one request is, if you have questions, put a capital Q at the beginning and some couple of little spaces. It just makes it easy when you've got lots of questions coming through to pick up on what the actual question is, so that I can answer it for you live here, so it doesn't kind of get missed in the lot of comments. And we've all been on calls where there's been comments and lots of activity in the comments box. As the presenter, we want, particularly me, I want to focus in and stay here with you. I don't want to be distracted by that. So when I go back to the comments, I want to be really easy to be able to see exactly what it is. So let's get into why we are here. Let's get into our tapping. I would love to do some grounding tapping together. So if we can all just tap along, I'm going to assume that you know the points. I'll stick a graphic in the feedback for this at the end, and I'll add some graphics in of where the tapping points are. In the meantime, just tap with me. So you'll see our karate chop point is there. So it's just up on this sort of squidgy bit. Now remember, we are equal. Remember, it doesn't matter which side you tap on. Doesn't matter, this is our karate chop. So even though I have no idea, and the idea is you're going to repeat the words after me. So even though I have no idea what's going to come up in this call, I am going to choose to love and accept who I am. Even though I have no idea what will come up for me, I'm going to trust what comes up for me. And I'm going to choose to love the person I am. Even though I have no idea what's going to come up today, I'm going to choose to love and accept who I am. So I'm going to take off my glasses and continue through the points. So just tap on each of the points as we go. I'm giving myself permission to have this time for myself. I'm giving myself permission to stay focused on this call, to stay focused on me, to stay focused on me. I'm giving myself permission to spend this time on myself, to feel into my body, to feel into my physical body, to trust what I feel, to trust the thoughts that come up, to trust what's happening for me. I'm going to trust all of this. I'm going to be grounded in myself. I'm going to be grounded in this room. I'm going to feel grounded in this space. This time is for me. It's all for me. This is my time. And I'm going to allow myself to be here. The fabulous to do some grounding tapping. You can see it can only take a couple of minutes to kind of get ourselves into a space of being ready that this is our time, that this is your time, and we're going to get the most out of it while we're here. So what I want to run you through today is, I said, a live class that I run here in Sydney. And it's completely exactly on topic. It's all about stress. It's all about how to manage stress and how to use EFT tapping to reduce that stress in any particular time or moment that it comes up for you. So as we say in tapping, what I want you to do is I want you to feel into it. I don't want you to overthink it. I don't want you to treat this like you do on your other YouTube videos when you're thinking, have I got it right? Am I on the right point? Don't worry about it. Just flow with the call. Just trust that the tapping points, if you get stuck on one point, stay there. It doesn't matter. As long as you're tapping, you're going to get so much more out of this than allowing me to lead you through this, than trying to overthink, what is she doing? What is she saying? Am I keeping up? Am I saying it right? You will be. So let's go through it. So let's talk about some stress stuff. And I said, I'd love your comments in the comment box. If it's a question, remember a capital Q at the beginning so I know. So when we talk about stress, who thinks that they have stress? I'm going to assume some of you are putting your hand up since we're not live. Who thinks that they have stress right now? Okay, who thinks that they've got stress? There's going to be a number of you. Just think about that for yourself. Am I feeling stressed in the moment? Am I feeling stressed in my past? Are there times, while I'm not feeling stressed now, are there times in the past where I have felt stressed? Think of those times. Don't go into them. Don't go back into and relive them. Just think about them. How do you know that you have stress? What tells you in your body that you have stress? And this is where your pen and paper or journal can come in handy. Write it down for you. If you're not going to put it in the comments box, yes, please put it down on a pen and paper for you. What makes you feel like, how do you know you have stress? And here's another question. Remember, I'm a coach. What makes you know it's time for you to do stress? Because I'm assuming that not everybody's stressed all the time. So there's something as a trigger in our heads that then go, it's time to do stress. It's time to feel stressed. It's time to behave stressed. It's all about stress. So what actually is it? Is it an emotion? Is it an inner feeling? Now, let me share with you what us humans do. We are not fearful in this moment. Right at this very, very moment, we are generally not fearful about this very particular moment. What we as humans do is we have tag memories in the background. We have all these things that have happened to us in our events as adults, and way back to children, right back to birth. We have all of these things that have happened for us and to us. We then, when we think about the future, we add those in, and that's why we're stressed about the future. Because generally the future, we don't know what is going to happen. So our only way of gauging what the future may be is by taking these tagged memories from our past. Otherwise, we can't make the link because we don't know what it's going to be. And that's generally speaking what our stress is about. We've decided that something that is maybe going to happen, could happen, looks like it might happen. We take the tag memories from our past and we pass that through our own filter in our brain to go, oh, this must be something that's going to be stressful for me, so I'm going to do stress about it. I'm going to have a reaction. I'm going to have an emotion about it. That's sort of the scientific kind of thing in layman's terms as to what's really kind of happening in your brain. So when we use our tapping to get ourselves out of that very stressful moment in the moment, it allows the thoughts that are pushing the stress and pushing the fear through to come a little bit quieter in your head. So it is a repeated thought. It is something that comes from our back end from our past, so the thoughts that are happening about what has already happened in our life. So does it have basis to it? Possibly, probably not. My view is we make up our thoughts. Yes, they come in from really very real situations and very, very real events that have happened to us, but it's how we interpret those events. So we're going to continue on and we're going to go through about what we're going to do with our tapping. So let's continue on. We've already done the karate chop point. So we're just going to tap through the points. Now, I need to keep my glasses on because when we do our tapping, it needs to be, I need to read kind of what it is. So I said, this is a live class that I've written for other things. So let's tap through the points, all of our concerns. When I question myself, when I let the voices in my head get the better of me, I listen to those concerns. I believe the doubtful voice in my head. What am I supposed to do about this? All of these concerns, all of these worries. Why do I do this to myself? What makes me do it? What keeps these thoughts in place? I listen to the voice in my head and I do worry. Keep tapping while I change the page. I worry about things I can't control, and that causes me stress. I worry about things that are out of my control, and that causes me stress. I try to control things because I think it keeps me safe. But what it actually does, it keeps me stuck. All of these worries. I think it's healthy that I worry. I think it means that I care, but it causes me stress. All of these worries, all of my concerns. So continue to feel what that feels like in your body. Continue to feel what it comes through. When you come to do stress, when it's something that you choose to do, what is going on for you? So what is happening for you? What's happening in your body for you? There'll be physical reactions every time you go to stress. Every time you have stress running through your body, you will actually have hormones. You will actually have thoughts. You will actually have a whole process that you go through in your head. So what happens if you don't do the worry? What happens if you don't overthink? Have you tried that? It sounds so simple, but sometimes that's all it takes. But we're going to continue to do the tapping to help you get through that. Are my worries helping me? Are my worries supporting me? Are my worries taking hold of me? Are any of my worries real? Are any of these worries actually mine? All these things that I worry about, are they my worries? Am I worried about things that might happen? Are my worries about things? Are they things I have no control over? What is my control all about? Why do I need it? Why do I worry? What is my worrying all about? All of my worries are causing me stress. They're causing me to feel stressed. They're causing stress in my body. They're making me feel a whole range of emotions that I turn into stress. All my thoughts about stress, all my emotions about stress, all my thoughts about stress, all the times that I do stress, all of the times, all this stress, carry all this stress in my body. So I want you to take a big deep breath. I want you to kind of feel into this. I want you to feel the emotions. I want you to feel the stuff moving. I want you to start to feel your energy system starting to move. And I've got a couple of questions for you. So it's time for your pen, paper, a bit of a journal idea. What is the trigger for you when stress comes upon you? What actually is it that happens for you to feel stress? What actually comes up for you? Do you know what the thought is just before stress happens? Do you know what the trigger is? Is it something somebody else says? Is it something that another person does? Is it a memory from before? What is it that happens for you just before you step into that stress, right? And notice my language is specific. Stress is something that we do choose. Whether it's tag memories, whether it comes from a trigger, it is still something that happens that we can start to learn to manage and move through and release the triggers for ourselves so that we don't go into that space. How much of your stress has become a bit of a label for you? How much of it people say to you, how are you? And you go, oh, I'm stressed. So what's happening for you today? How was your day? Oh, it was so stressful. How much of your space, how much of your dialogue, how much of your week is about that being the label that you have? Stress is part of your identity. It's I'm stressed. I had a really stressful day. This happened and made me feel really stressed, and he stresses me out, or she does this and I'm stressed about. Notice how there's a bit of a language and there's an identity wrapped around this for so many people, because they haven't separated the emotional part of it, that I can do something about that, and me as a person. They're not the same thing. So one of the healthy things we're going to help you to do is separate those two, because you're not stressed, you're a person. A stress is an emotional reaction that you have. So we're going to continue on, do some of that journaling work, and you can do it later on when we're off the call. So let's just continue to do some of the tapping on this. Are my worries actually real? How many of my worries rule my life? Do I worry too much? All questions for you. Does it mean I don't care if I don't worry about things? Or does it mean something else? All of my stress. When do my worries transfer into stress for me? When do my worries turn into stress? When did all these worries become such a habit that they're just now all about stress? Sometimes my stress takes me down a rabbit hole. It feels dark. My thoughts can be quite dark. And I stay there for a while. Sometimes. All of this stress in my head, all of my stress. Sometimes I don't think I can break free. Sometimes I think I can't move beyond it. What if I didn't have my stress? Who would I be? I don't even know what my days would look like without feeling this stress. All of this stress. What would be different without it? What would be different in my day? How scary would different be for me? All of this stress. All of this stress. All of this stress. What if I could move out of my stress? What if I could do something instead of my stress? What if I could choose a different emotion? I wonder if that's possible. I wonder if it's something I could do. All of this stress. All of this stress. I even worry about my stress. I have a label to it. It's stress. My day's stressful. My life could be stressful. He could make me stressed. She could make me stressed. I have way too much identity attached to this. All of my stress, the different events that cause it, the different events that come up for me, the different triggers, all of my stress, all these different triggers, all of my stress. It goes deeper than just worry, because I continue to think about it and I don't let things go. All of this stress around in my head, all the thoughts go on, all of my stress. Sometimes my stress is actually protection. It's a way of protecting myself. It's a way of keeping people away. It's a way of keeping things away. It's a way of keeping events at bay. All of my stress. My stress, I think, comes from caring too much. Caring about events, caring about other people, trying to please everybody, trying to keep everybody happy, causes me stress. I care about what happens around me. I care about what happens through me. I care about the people in my world. And I overthink. I think too much. I think too often sometimes. And it causes me all of this stress. So let's have a bit of a think, a little bit of a chat about what could be holding your stress in place. They are your thoughts. Now, whatever thoughts came up in this tapping sequence, because we're going to go back to it now, I want you to write quick notes. If you had other words pop into your head, write them down. If you had other memories come in, write them down. Don't take yourself into them in this call. Do them afterwards. Stay in this moment. Let's stay on the topic of stress. Let's stay on the topic of being able to do the tapping and keep shifting without shifting topics. So just write them down. If they've come up for you, just keep on topic and let's continue. And let me just clarify as well. Stress comes from the whole idea of we're not good enough. Stress comes from a place of thinking that I'm not doing something well enough. It comes from a place of thinking that some other person is going to judge us. It could be that you're going to judge yourself, but judgment plays a very big part in the stress response. It plays a very big part in what's going on because it's all about I feel stressed. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's continue with the idea that we are doing this anxiety, so not this anxiety, doing the stress and sticking with stress because it's a way of protecting ourselves. It's a way of protecting the brain. It's a way of protecting the event and what's going on, right? I worry that I have stress. I think that I have some stress. I get stressed about different thoughts. I get stressed about needing clarity. I get stressed about the different events that have happened to me. I get stressed about what might happen in the future because something did happen to me in the past. And it's okay that I get stressed like this. It's okay that I respond like this. But my thoughts are around protection. My thoughts are around fears. My thoughts are around overthinking. I worry that I'm going to be judged. I worry that people will judge me. I worry that I will judge myself. I'm very good at judging myself. I am very, very good at judging myself. I judge myself regularly. I judge myself frequently. And I know that because that little voice of doubt over and over in my head, you're not good enough. You can't do this. You didn't do that right. You didn't do that well enough. You're not as good as that person. You can't do anything right. Everything I touch goes wrong. I'll never be good enough. I'll never live up to their expectations. The critical voice in my own head. This voice of judgment. This voice of judgment is adding to my stress. Can you believe that? My own voice. My own voice is causing so much of this. My own voice. My own voice is causing my stress. My own voice is adding to all these thoughts. My own voice is doing this. So just stop the tapping for now. I'm just going to take a quick drink. Remember, if things came up, write them down. Write the other words. Write whatever comes up for you while we're doing group work. Always write it down. There is so much power and strength in your words. There is so much power and strength in what you say to yourself. Sometimes my words won't hit the mark for you, which is perfectly fine. That's why I want you to write down what you hear and see and what comes into your own head, because that's where the power is going to be. I've moved that and don't like it now. That's where your power is going to be, in your own words. So make sure you write them down. Pen, paper, journal, all right? So let's have a talk. So those of us who are very familiar with tapping, and those of us who are just getting into tapping as a powerful tool, we have a tool in tapping which is a tabletop, all right? Imagine a tabletop, coffee table, dining room table, don't care. Just imagine a tabletop. Now, your stress and what's going on for you in your stress is your tabletop. Now, what will cause the tabletop to have substance, your stress to have substance, is all of the underlying events that are tagged. Remember we talked earlier about your tag memories. All of those events underneath are causing the tabletop of stress. So when we do EFT tapping, we actually want to work on what's happening in the table legs. So when I say to you, if a word comes up or an event comes up, write it down. That's what will be coming up for you. There'll be some level of, there'll be a thought, there'll be a memory, there'll be something that's happened in the past. Doesn't matter if it's distant past, just recent past, it doesn't matter. But those table legs are where we want to do the work for EFT, because it's in the power in those table legs is where we want to clear away the stuff. So if you've got specific things that lead you into stress, if you have one specific event, that's where you could do some of this tapping. Now, when I tell all of my clients, the minute you leave my studio, everybody taps here. And that's just on the collarbone point. It's my favorite point. It is my go-to point right up here. And we have 3 words. You can either say, I am fine. You could either say, I am safe. Or you could even say, I am okay. Whichever 3 of those will work for you. So if you wanted to go and look at some of your table legs, like maybe there's an event that's happened, maybe it's something that somebody said to you, you could just think about that memory and you could simply tap on, I am safe. Now, in the moment, that is going to really help you to get beyond that little incident in that little thought that comes into your head. Now, as you're going along your day-to-day life, I would also suggest this is your go-to point. You will tap here, I am safe, or I am fine, or I am okay. It will get you out of most situations. It will get you out of it if you just tap on here. So I also have a concept that I teach my graduates, teaching my students as well, which is the white bucket and the black bucket concept. Now, when we are thinking about things that are going wrong in our life, that is the black bucket. When we are thinking about things that are going right, that is the white bucket. Now, if you've got your head pretty well buried in your black bucket of all the things that are going wrong and minimal focus on the things that are going right, it's going to be a real challenge for you to be able to step through any of the stress that's coming up for you and be able to have a life where that isn't your primary driver. So I want you to take that concept with you. White bucket, all the things that are going right. And I don't care how tiny they are. I don't care how tiny they are, but just start looking at all the little tiny things that are going right. It's going to help you because stress sits in the black bucket. It's all the things that you're worried about that may or may not go wrong from past memories, okay? So let's spend some time in the white bucket. That's your challenge through the rest of the week until we meet again is white bucket, white bucket, white bucket, white bucket. I've even got a printout on one of my walls of a white bucket. Print it out and remind yourself, I've got to have my head in the white bucket because some of our stress can get released and not be anywhere near as tense simply by having your focus as different, focusing on something different, not focusing on what's going on wrong. Let's focus on going on right. So let's get moving and let's do some more tapping. So could moving through my stress, I need to pick up my little page, could moving through my stress really be this simple? Could I really change it by changing where I focus? Could it be this simple? Just by what I give my attention to? Could it really be this simple? To let go of some of my stress? Could it really be this simple? To let go of my stress? To let go of my stress? Could it be this simple? My stress comes from my thoughts. What if I could change my thoughts? What could I choose to do different? What can I do to help myself? What am I ready to release hold of? Am I ready to make other choices? Am I ready to make those choices? Am I ready to step into somewhere different? Maybe changing my thinking. I'm not sure just yet, because I don't know what that looks like. I'm not sure, but I am curious about what I could consider to change about how I think and move beyond the stress that I carry around. Could I really be able to move beyond my stress? Could I see a glimmer of hope here? Could I see some light at the end of the tunnel? Could I really be able to have things different? To release this stress? Is it possible? I could try. I could look at things differently. I could change my own viewpoint. I could focus in different space. I could use this white bucket concept. I could choose to focus in that white bucket. I wonder what's possible for me. Could I really do this? Could I really try? Is it possible that I could let go of some of my stress? Even a little bit of my stress would help. Even let going a little bit will really help. Letting go of this stress. Letting go of this stress. I've had it for so long. I don't know what it would look like without it. Can't remember a time when I didn't have it. Can't remember a time when I didn't have stress. Become part of who I am, I think. Can't remember a time when I wasn't stressed. Can't remember a time when I didn't feel stress. Can't remember when I wasn't stressed about something or someone, something or someone. But I'm pretty fed up with being stressed. I am willing to try this. I'm willing to give it some focus. I'm willing to see what's in my white bucket. Willing to see what I can change. Even simply one step. What can I do different? What can I do that's different? What am I willing to try? What am I willing to try? My head in the white bucket. My head focused on different things. I continue to do my tapping on them. I can continue my tapping while I have my head in the white bucket. I think I'm willing to try. I'm going to focus elsewhere. I'm going to look at things differently. I think that I can. I think that just maybe I can take control of this and I can move away from my stress. Now, notice that my language very much takes you into a space of choice, and I'm not on any level at all trying to take away anybody's real, true reasonings, real, true triggers, real, true events that have happened that have taken us to a space of stress. What I'm suggesting is we have a tool, we have it in our hand at the end of our fingertips, that we can start to move through some of those triggers, some of the events for ourselves. It's really a great thing when we can take that empowerment, we can take control of our own life. Sure, there'll be times where we need to go and seek help. I run the Australian Tapping Institute, so I train practitioners. I know the power of practitioners. I know the space we as practitioners can take clients to. But I also know this is an amazing self-help tool that will help you through so much of your own stuff. You may decide to go and see a practitioner. You may decide never to. Both is perfectly fine, because both of doing your tapping frequently, regularly, daily, I still do it every single day. I do some tapping on something, some memory, some thought, something that may come up, and I just do tapping, and here is my go-to. So don't think that I don't think we ever get there. I don't think we ever get to the end and we ever finish. I always think that we have something that comes up, a better version of us to be, and something we can move through to help us, particularly if you're going into a new business, new career, become a mum or a dad, or move jobs, move locations, new people in your world. All of those things bring different levels of emotional attachment based on all of our events. So unless you're going to live in a bubble for the rest of your life, you probably wouldn't need to do any more tapping. But we don't. We live in a society with other humans, with other factors, and we've got this whole journey to go on of things that we can and can't do. So I'm going to finish up with some positive tapping. Now, I've reflected on some of this being, what is your identity? So here's some questions to take away with you. And we'll finish up with any last questions that you have. We'll also finish up with some sort of really positive tapping to get your either your day started if you're in Australia with me, or your day finished or partway through if you're in the UK and America. So what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you write down what's some of the triggers that happen for you. What part of your identity is attached around stress? And what I mean by that is, how often are you identified, like, how are you, somebody said, and you go, oh, I'm stressed. That's an identity. How was your day? Oh, it was so stressful. Part of that's an identity. You go to the office and you're someone who's always seeming stressed. They're all parts of identity, all right? So I want you to make a note of any of those are your identity. And then have a look at some of your patterns. Is it a particular person that you interact with that causes the stress response? Is it particular people? Is it particular things that are said by particular people? Make notes of these. Remember, talk tabletop and table legs? They're your table legs. They're where you can do the power in your tapping. You don't want to tap on stress and just tap on stress. You want to tap in deeper, okay? Take yourself deeper. So do this little bit, 5-10 minutes after we're finished, on doing what are those triggers for you? How do I identify with stress? How is it part of me? Who do I tell? So what is my story? And who do I tell constantly how stressed I am? That's part of your story. And part of your story can hold those stress responses in place as well. So hold them in there. What am I reading? Karina has a job interview. Karina, absolutely. Put your head in that white bucket. And before you go into that interview, simple here. I am fine. I am safe. I got this. I am fine. I am safe. I got this. Okay? That's what you've got to do. Best wishes today, Karina, for your job interview. That's amazing. But be sure, stick your head in the white bucket, but do some tapping. I'm fine. I am safe. I am fine. I am safe. And just go in there and give it your best. You are fine. You are safe. Nobody's judging, okay? So best wishes with that. Give us some feedback. So while I've got you to do it, so you're going to go and you're going to do that in your journal. You're going to write down this stuff. And we are going to finish up with some really strong, powerful, positive tapping to lift you back up. And because remember what we do, we clear out the negative, we clear out the emotions we're already thinking, we're clearing out all the negative stuff. Let's build it up with some really positive stuff, okay? So let's start here on our little eyebrow point. I am at choice. I am at choice. I am aware. I can make good decisions that are good for me in every moment, because I am at choice in the moment. I am always at choice. I choose now to feel grounded. I choose now to feel centered. I choose to feel grounded in this room, centered in my body. I choose to feel grounded. I choose to feel centered. And I know that I am at choice. I'm going to focus on the person that I am. I am a wonderful person. I am a wonderful son or daughter. I might be a wonderful brother or sister. I could be a great employee. I could be great at the other things that I do. I might be a fabulous friend. Now, in this part, I'm going to start to use words, and I want you to use the words that come up for you, because we are stepping into, I'm actually an amazing person. I actually really am a really good person. I don't need to be perfect in order to be a good person. I don't need to judge myself, because I really am wonderful. And I'm going to allow myself to believe I am wonderful. I'm going to focus on how wonderful I am. I'm going to focus on how wonderful I am. I'm an amazing person. Please use your words. Use your words. I am wonderful. I am caring. I am loving. I am giving. There's strength in your words. Use your words if yours are coming up and mine don't sit with you. Keep using yours, but they've got to be positive words. I am beautiful. I am uplifted. I am giving. I am powerful. I am inspiring. I am inspired. I am whole. I am complete. I am a very good person. I'm great at doing whatever it is you're great at. I'm great at tapping. What else are you great at? I'm a great parent. I'm a great son or daughter. I'm a great carer for somebody. You might be a great auntie or uncle. What are you great at? Let's bring it up now. I'm an amazing person. I'm complete. I am whole. I'm whole as I am. Judgment isn't coming into my head today because I don't need it. I'm going to stick my head in that white bucket, and when I find myself in the black bucket, I'm absolutely going to move from that. I'm going to move from that. I don't need that black bucket. I am empowered. I am strong. I am powerful. I can move beyond anything, one tiny step at a time. I can move beyond everything, one tiny step at a time. By being kind to myself, being loving to myself, by being nurturing to myself. When that negative voice comes up, I'm just going to say thank you and let it drift away. When that negative voice comes up, I'm just going to let it drift away. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be nasty. I'm going to be kind, caring, compassionate. to myself. I'm going to be loving to myself. I'm going to speak kindly to myself, very kindly to myself, because I am me, and I am so worthy, and I am so worthwhile. I truly am. And I'm going to remember that today. I'm going to remember that tomorrow. I'm an amazing person. I'm so worthwhile. I can inspire others by inspiring myself. I can uplift others, but first I need to uplift myself. Self-care, nurturing, kind words, empathy, sympathetic, loving, and caring. This is who I am. This is who I choose to be. This is how I choose to be. How I will show up in the world. How I will show up in the world. Because I am a choice. And I'm going to love that white bucket. And I'm going to help to change my own world. So please feel free to stop tapping as we go through this now. I'm going to click on a quick little link that I would love for you guys to have. So I'm going to go and give you this. So in the little box down here, I have just posted a link to my school. So I'm Lorna Hollinger, and I run the Australian Tapping Institute. Our flagship program is we train EFT practitioners. It's a 100% online course, so it's global. So no matter where you are in the world, you are welcome to join our practitioner of EFT and practitioner of life coaching course. 12 months. All the details are sitting on that little link I gave you. If practitioner training is not for you, I've also got 2 free programs that I would love to invite you to come and enroll yourself in. There's the Self-Love Project, very much about nurturing yourself and getting yourself to a space of true love for yourself. It's very much based on EFT tapping, so there's lots of tapping in there, and there's a workbook free for you. The other one is Your Life by Design, taking you more into the coaching space. Both are my free gift. Both I would love for you to enroll yourself in, to become part of our community. Join me on the Australian Tapping Institute's Facebook page. I do some more live tapping through the week. We have a YouTube channel. For people who want to be more into tapping, come and join us and come and embrace this beautiful self-help tool. Now, we will be back here at exactly the same time next week. Now, I know I've had some comments on people, this isn't a psychic reading or it's not a reading. Correct, it's not a reading. EFT is a self-help tool. It is something we use to empower ourselves and to work through ourselves. It isn't about tapping into somebody else's reading for us. It's slightly different for this page, I know, but it's about empowering you to be able to use your stuff, to move through your stuff, to get a better life for you without having to just always necessarily look at where we get the downloads from other people. It's all about you. So if anyone has questions, please feel free to either drop me a line. You could email me at hello@australiantappinginstitute.com.au. You could private message me. You could connect with me on our Facebook page, which is Australian Tapping Institute. Here on Facebook, you can send me a message on there. Next week, I'm not 100% sure what the topic will be. It will be in line with what we've been doing today. There will be lots of tapping again and actually taking you through a sequence again. So if you've got an idea of what you would like the topic to be, feel free to message me and put a bit of a vote in there. Otherwise, I will see you on the next call. I will happily wait here for the next couple of minutes if people have questions. I didn't see any questions pop through while we were going through that. But remember, you're going to have written down, oh, Megan's gone off to do a course. Fantastic. Megan's gone off to do an EFT course. Love everyone who's going off to do EFT courses because it just continues to push EFT through the world. It pushes it through as a self-help tool. And as I said, I just am totally in love with everything EFT and the power that I know it can actually bring to the world and to bring each and every one of us. So there's no questions there. If you guys don't have questions for me, please continue to do your tapping. Remember your go-to. I am safe. I am fine. Continue with your go-to, because it really is the place that's going to help you to move through your own things and your own stuff, and will help you in any triggered moment whatsoever. So I am going to sign off. I need to go over to the other page. Again, I will put a little graphic under this video as soon as it's finished. So if you come on and you're watching on a recording, there'll be a graphic of where the actual tapping points are. You can't get them wrong. I will see each and every one of you here on the next call, which is here next week at the same time. So much love to each and every one of you. We will see you on the next call. Bye.